I'm Jennifer Angel. This is my overview for April the 18th. And there's a lot happening this week. It's very active this month, which is great because we're leading into May and also June, especially May being a slower month. We're going to feel like moving forward with the handbrake on a little bit because we're going to have 5 planets retrograde. Saturn rather and Jupiter are already retrograde. On the 17th, Mars will go into a retrograde transit. Mars is the planet of action and activity, so that's going to be really a bit of a pullback. And on the 18th, Pluto will be retrograde, and then at the end of the month, Mercury is going to go retrograde. Of course, Mercury goes retrograde 3 or 4 times a year for just over 3 weeks' time. Of course, we've got the shadow period, either side, but I'm not taking those dates into account right now. I mean, we are in that shadow period of Mars and Mercury now, so don't have in my mind right now when that actually started. But the shadow period is the period that when the planet is retrograde, that it goes back to. So we're in that in that sort of transit, and Mars goes retrograde about every 2 years. So this is quite a big deal this year for the Mars retrograde, and it's in the fire sign of Sagittarius too. So as I said, May is going to feel a little bit like moving forward with the handbrake on, and it's a great time to do any research, any study, get things organized, really think about, where you are, where you want to end up, and devise a plan to get there. So it's a terrific time to do that. So all is not lost. I'm not a favor of Mercury retrograde myself, but hey, sometimes we just have to keep going. And as most of my friends know, I try not to live every single day by the planetary movement, because you know what, there's a lot more going on in life, and sometimes we just have to get on with it the best that we can. And as I always say, life doesn't wait for Mercury or any other planet for that matter to come out of retrograde. So there's certainly things that are best not to do in a retrograde transit, particularly a Mercury one, because Mercury is the planet of communication and commerce, and depending on where it is in your personal chart, and we're going to go through that in a moment and do all the individual charts. But I do try not to sign any documents. I mean, if you start a project before the retrograde period, it's an ongoing project, it comes together in the retrograde, then so be it. If you can delay it until afterwards of making it official, great. If you can't, then just be diligent about reading the document, making sure that everybody knows what they're accountable for. Make sure that you have all the information. Don't gloss over anything. And if you're not a sign that likes to look at the nitty gritty, then engage on a professional level, a Virgo, or one of the more analytical signs. Pisces is also a very analytical sign, and Libra likes to look at all the pros and cons. So, grab a friend or engage a professional to sort of look over things as well. Okay, so you do need to just give that little extra care. Now, this week, apart from all that, this week is very much the light is shining on Venus. So Venus really is the star of the chart this week. There's 3 aspects with Venus, and some are supportive, some are challenging. That's how life goes. So, and we need both. I mean, we love the supportive, celebrations that we have in life, that goes without saying. But, when we look back, often it's the more challenging situations that really give us the growth and force us out of our comfort zone, force us to make the decisions. And although it can be uncomfortable or awkward or challenging, even upsetting, while we're going through it, then of course the aim is to know on some level that it is going to work out and have that faith, okay? And I hope that is the case for each and every one of you. And now, right at the start of the week, we got Venus in a trine, favorable aspect with Saturn. I like this. It's helps us to just get emotional stability, particularly this week when we do have the retrograde going on. Things can, get a little bit sort of upset. It's also great for love and relationships, and certainly to bring a little bit more longevity and stability and possibly commitment into relationships. With money, that's it's good for building the bank balance, redoing the budget, finding out how you can be more productive with your money, in that sense. So, but Saturn is a cautious planet, so there's still a need to be a little cautious with your money, okay? And certainly with Mars in the same area of Saturn, don't, and with that whole retrograde thing going on with Mars, with the change of the energy, be careful that you don't do anything too rash, okay? Think it through. It's the best advice there, I think. And then a few days later, Venus is going to square Pluto, and this can, Pluto is the power planet, and Venus, of course, the planet of love and money, governs all relationships. And under this banner of Venus, she's also the planet of beauty and culture and just coming together with people and material possessions, because Venus does rule two planets, one Libra and the other one Taurus. And so she does come under and govern, love and money in that sense. And possession also can be a little possessive with love. So certainly with the Venus, and we'll find out, who's going to be possessive, this week, who needs to watch out for that in the individual reports. So, but she does sit in Aries at the moment, and the square with Pluto, in the first and the 10th house, it can be a little emotionally difficult, okay? It's a very intense interaction. You want to be careful of power plays, and you want to just try to keep everything as the highest level of integrity that you can, okay? And then later in the week, we've got Venus and Uranus conjunct. They're in the same planet Aries and the same degree. So this has been, leading up to this, and then we'll have, leading out of it as well. But it's a magnetic connection. Let's not forget that, Venus is the lover, wants to come together and make things happen. And Uranus is original, creative, and sudden. So, anything can happen here. Uranus also is the sign of freedom, or planet rather, of freedom, loves that sense of being able to make it on the spur decisions, run with things that crop up. So for Venus and Uranus together, it's like, wow, anything can happen now. So, dream big, reach for the stars, and you just never know, you might catch one, okay? All right, so love and luck to you. There is a full moon this month as well, and so much else going on. I almost missed that one, but it's right at the end of the week as well, and it's in the sign of Scorpio, so that can make it a little bit intense. And the full moon can bring things to a head, and bring them right up there so you can look at them and go, oh, okay, fine, so I need to make changes. So put this all together, and certainly with Venus, with love, money, and relationships, be prepared to step out of your comfort zone, okay? All right, love and luck to you. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.